Hi, and welcome to Look Good, Feel Better. I'm Ann Massey, and I'll be your host for today's Feel Better session entitled Loving the Skin That You're In. When I'm not hosting Feel Better sessions, I'm a proud facilitator of virtual workshops on behalf of Look Good, Feel Better. I'm also a field executive for Estee Lauder Companies. I'm truly delighted that you're here because today we're going to be talking about incorporating mindfulness into your skincare routine. In a few moments, I'll be joined by our special guests, Tim Quinn and Mark Turnipseed, founders of Halo 42. But before we begin, I want to tell you just a little bit about Look Good, Feel Better and their program. For over 30 years, Look Good, Feel Better has provided free workshops to people with cancer. These workshops are focused on really helping them manage the appearance-related side effects of their treatment, as well as improving morale and really helping them to face cancer with confidence. Professional beauty volunteers like myself from across the country and around the globe provide lessons on skin and nail care, cosmetics, wigs, turbans, and head coverings, as well as accessories and styling. We know that addressing the appearance-related side effects is not only uplifting, but also studies show that helping people reassert control over how they look truly impacts how they feel. From my experience, seeing the transformation in that 1 hour from beginning to end is such a meaningful hour for the women who participate. And for those of us that volunteer to give these women 1 hour to focus on themselves and some self-care is truly a blessing. Today, Look Good, Feel Better operates in 27 countries. The workshops are open to all women with cancer who are undergoing chemotherapy, radiation, and other forms of treatment. There's also online content, instructional videos for teens and men. And if you or someone that you love would benefit from attending a workshop, you can visit lookgoodfeelbetter.org for more information, and there you'll also find our schedule of virtual workshops. Last year, Look Good, Feel Better debuted their Feel Better sessions. They're designed to be just bite-sized sessions to inspire, inform, and uplift everyone. We all appreciate hope and positivity whenever we can get it, and that's what today is really all about. Now, one more note before I introduce our special guests. We're thrilled as part of today's session, Tim and Mark are offering a live 1 hour personal one-on-one consultation with one of you, along with a gift basket of Halo 42 products. Each time that you donate $20 to Look Good, Feel Better during one of our sessions or afterward, your name is entered into a drawing. So how to enter? Either click the donate button or text Feel Good to 44321. That's text Feel Good to 44321 to be entered. And be sure to include your email address because the winners will be notified at the end of the month. Now, on for our main event. I really couldn't have found a more interesting topic to kick off this year's Feel Better sessions. Skincare is important, certainly for everyone, but often it is a chore. We rush through rather than really treating it as a time to renew and restore and even recover. So it's about shifting our perspective, and that's what our guests are going to help us do today. Tim Quinn is a celebrity makeup artist and cancer survivor, and his journey and recovery has inspired people worldwide. Mark Turnipseed, a former fitness professional and mental health counselor, has walked his own path of recovery and renewal. And together, they have founded Halo 42. Halo 42 is a beauty brand that meets people where they are, using skincare rituals to foster hope and the promises that come from a shift in perspective. So I'm going to ask them to join us now. They'll be with us momentarily, I'm sure. There they are. Hi, Tim. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hello, lovely. How's it going?
It's going terrific. We're so glad that you're here. Tim,
Morning.
I have been a fan of yours for so long. Would you just remind us of your professional career before Halo 42?
Sure. So I've been a makeup artist for what seems like forever, but for 20 years, I was the vice president of artistry for Armani Beauty. So I kind of traveled the world,
That's fantastic. So you bring a ton of expertise.
Oh, yeah. Of course, as you mentioned, as a cancer survivor, I have a lot of expertise in the power of beauty in that space of recovery.
That's fantastic. We're so honored that you're here. And Mark, you often talk about how you and Tim met at a time when your personal and professional stories just sort of intertwined. And out of that came Halo 42?
Yeah, very serendipitous time. I was just kind of emerging out of my shell, out of my own recovery from a past life of addiction and trauma, and really just stepping into who I actually was. I was also learning at the time how to do male modeling, which was very interesting for me. It was something that I had never seen myself as or becoming. And when Tim had reached out to me after he read my book, he said, this guy who's like emerging out of his recovery, like, how did he do this? How come other people aren't able to do that? And he saw that I was a personal trainer. So he was like, well, maybe I'll hop on and join the bandwagon and see what he can't teach me. And and so Tim and I started working together, and really part of what I was doing as a personal trainer really wasn't like helping somebody get fit as much so it was helping somebody just to shift the way and their relationship with wellness and with fitness, because it's when we shift our relationship with fitness that we begin to notice it as something more sustainable and more enjoyable to life. And so that's similar to what we can do with a lot of different things. May it be education, shift your relationship with education, and all of a sudden, you enjoy going to classes. Shift your relationship with your beauty routine, and all of a sudden, you don't rush through it. You use it as an opportunity to connect with yourself and really develop like the full potential of the experience of the beauty routine. So that's why we connected.
Well, that's a fantastic story. And, I'm so intrigued by this whole topic. I want to look forward to, my skincare routine in the evening. So I'm going to turn the floor over to both of you at this point. But before I do, I just want to remind everyone, if you have a question for Mark and Tim, you can drop your question into the comments section, and we'll take some time at the end of our session to answer as many of those as possible. So for now, Tim and Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, we spent a lot of time over the last year developing this brand and developing our ideas. And it really stems from the same thing that I've always thought when it comes to beauty, my own struggles. It was the first time I didn't feel like myself, right? So it's like helping yourself get back in your head, like resettle. So, Mark and I came up with this idea of, really, people ask us all the time, like, what can't you live without in the beauty world? Or what are the things that you absolutely need? I mean, I never leave home, thanks to Mark, without my water now. And now we're big into sustainability. I mean, that's the best thing you can do for your whole mind, right? Is to stay hydrated, and the same for your skin. And we feel that he really taught me to go back to understanding, making your ritual something really special. When you think of a ritual of anything, you tend to give it more time and more attention, and that's what we do. So if there's instead of a routine, think of something that's like special to you. It's like you're really embracing your heart, your soul.
Yeah, and I think another aspect to remaining vitally young is that we have to connect with the pure essence of who we are, and that is our spiritual selves. That's beyond this physical representation of who we are, this aging body. We have to connect with that childlike thing that's inside of us. That thing that if you really dive back to your childhood and recognize it, that thing didn't have much stress. That thing was free. That thing also really understood who it was. It was very accepting of the world. It was
Joyful,
innocently exploring. And I think that if we can tap into that, with everything that we do, not just beauty routines, although we're just going to talk about how to tap into that with beauty routines today. But if we can tap into that with everything that we can do, then ultimately we're going to have a brighter glow about our sense, the way that we carry ourselves than if we don't. And so ultimately, a much easier way to look at that is trying to live kind of stress-free, because stress, our bodies, the way stress comes out on our skin is age, right? It's going to be the wrinkles, it's going to be, the dryness, it's going to be the eczema, like that stuff comes out through our skin. And of course, also your diet and whatnot too. But let's just talk about stress. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's like really easy to control and really easy to tap into when it comes to our ritual. And, I think the first step is noticing the beauty ritual as an opportunity, as it's a blessing and not so much a task.
So we like to make sure you like make a space for yourself, whether it's your bathroom, a little altar. We're in a hotel right now, so we had to kind of recreate what we do. But lately, we never leave home without a sound bowl, because for us, a big part of the whole ritual is setting the stage, right? So if it's candles, a lot of people really love candles. Room, sage. Sometimes we do the burning of the sage to kind of reset. Really big on crystals too. So I feel like everything you do that kind of makes the space feel more special, and then it makes you understand and appreciate what you're doing. Everything's precious, right? So just taking that extra time to like that, kind of like setting the table. I always say this, like I use my good china, my silver all the time.
Yeah.
Because every meal, you don't know, this is a special occasion. So treating your skin and yourself is the same.
And let me tell you too, let me just expound on that a little bit, is that, there's no one size fits all. There's no, certain crystal that everybody needs. There's no, really, everybody doesn't need a crystal. Maybe your routine is something completely individual to yourself, much like setting your dinner table.
Fresh flowers.
Some people don't like fine china, and that's okay. Like, you don't need that. You don't need what somebody else needs. You need what you need. And to find that within yourself is part of the joyous process. So very early in my recovery, actually, it was very simple. I was actually in rehab. I was in rehab, and my self-care routine was simply closing the door so that I was in my own space. Maybe all you want to do is like turn the water on so that it's trickling.
I did that all the year or so that I was in chemo. I would go in the bathroom in the hospital and like hide, put my self tanner on, put a little music on, whatever you can do to take yourself out of whatever's happening in your head and kind of reset you. So start with that, right? What actually needed to do.
Well, I think ultimately too, once we set up, we want to understand what the whole goal of this process is. And so, first and foremost, we want to accept ourselves. It's through accepting ourselves, it's through accepting who we are really truly as a beautiful being inside of us, that then we're going to be able to connect with our true beauty. And then not only that, we also want to be able to take that outside of us. So we want to be able to take our self-acceptance and share it with the world. And we want to be able to accept other people with it. We want to be able to spread it. We really truly want to embody beauty. That's why it's our motto with Halo 42 is accept yourself, accept others, embody beauty, because that's how we're really going to make this world a better place, And so, the process of accepting yourself, I think that it all starts by slowing down, setting up that ritual, and recognizing the miracle of life unfolding as you connect with your breath. And this can happen in a very, very quick moment. Also, you don't have to sit down and meditate for 45 minutes or even go to a yoga session.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get a little terrified when we say meditate. They're like, I don't know how to do that, But it's really, the trick is just slowing down and breathing. And I do it all the time lately. We're back in the city. When I came in, I had to like take a moment and go in a corner and kind of just breathe for a minute and kind of like get back to the head. Whatever it is that, you know, your breath control is a lot. I feel like that's a big part of like the beginning of your ritual.
Yeah. And then as you know, as you recognize your breath, recognize that you're connected through your breath with the whole universe, right? We're breathing in life. And that is an absolute miracle. And then while we do that, recognize that you're not alone. Recognizing that I wasn't alone in my recovery, that was the sense of hope. That was when I go, oh my gosh, I can do it too. If that guy recovered, if this guy right here recovered, then I can too. You know, and it's through that if we follow that vehicle, then we can walk the little path and we can start accepting other people because we develop a sense of gratitude for others.
I agree. I think your beauty comes in so many forms, and relaxation comes in so many forms. There's no just one size fits all. So I love that. I love your approach, and you know, the conversation is certainly inspiring and thought provoking at the same time. You know, we all have habits and routines, but you've made me really think about how mindfulness is so important, and attention. You know, we have to be aware and attentive of what's going on with ourselves and our bodies. Our routine transformations, you know, can really become a ritual, to your point, so that you look forward to it. So I appreciate that. Let me see, did we have any questions? And while I'm looking at the questions, Mark and Tim, if there's something else that you wanted to talk to us about.
Partly like what we talk about too is like, you know, using your pause a different way too. Like when I'm going to put a mask on just because people like get a kick out of when I do it, I guess. But I like to really like, and we do this with our clients, right?
Use your product as a chance to connect, you know, instead of just plopping it on their face.
Like think about what you're doing and what your intention is with why.
I also like to use a mask to look at myself in the mirror and recognize how silly I look, and to kind of that to connect with that, you know, child, and not to take myself so serious because I feel like I do that way too often.
I think we all do.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get a kick out of doing this and then like getting on FaceTime or answering the door. I think it just like, it just.
Actually, when I first met Tim, when he came into his first personal training session, he was wearing little eye masks, these little rose gold eye masks. And I go, oh my God, who on earth is just gym doors?
That's kind of like,
who knew it would be the beginning of a friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, I mean, I've always said this when I'm working with clients. It's like, the skincare for me is more important than the after part with the, you know, the lipstick and all that. Like get skin glowing, and it's the connection to yourself because you're actually massaging your face. I mean, it's wonderful when someone else does it for you, but when you actually spend time and you're doing it for yourself and you think about, you know, what is this doing for my skin? What is this doing for my, you know, inner peace? You start to calm down. Whatever fears in your head, whether what you're going through, it's time to just kind of resettle yourself.
Sort of shake off the day.
Yeah. Or even start the day, you know, in a fresh mode. Because
there's that.
Sometimes I wake up and I go into a touch of a panic attack when I think what I've committed to, right?
Right.
It's a good way to restart it.
I love that. And I think the smell of the products too can be very much a part of the ritual, very calming and something that you look forward to.
You have maybe evoke something like a memory. Maybe that, you know, this has memory, but there's sulfur thing which remind me so much of going to Italy and you know, going to a spa. That as soon as you start to think of something that brought you joy, all of a sudden your whole being shifts a little, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those. The same for me when I put on I can put on lip balm all day long because when I put on lip balm, it just makes me smile.
That's right. conquer the world.
I mean, that's it, really. You know, it's like your favorite dress. You know, when they always say like your favorite outfit, like when sometimes you put that on, it's like your superpower comes back.
Exactly.
I look ridiculous, but I don't really care.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Skin's gonna feel great.
Exactly.
So it's really turning your mindfulness then into acceptance. Is that right?
Because once you start to accept it, because listen, if we live in a whole new world where we were just up here for the Met Gala, where everybody's looking at what seems to be perfection on the carpet or whatever, and I've lived that way for 20 years. That's not reality, and you can't compare yourself to that. And when you start to get back into your own head and just accept who you are, and we're all at whatever acceptance level you have. And Mark talks to me about this all the time. All of a sudden, like, the mirror you're reflecting back to people, you see it. Like, you walk in the street and you have a brightness or a bounce in your step and you're smiling. Even like the worst mood in the world can't get you, because you have this. And this is what we can do it to ourselves so quickly. Anyone who's going through, especially any kind of treatment or recovery program, it's like everything seems to be coming at you, and actually control isn't here.
Exactly. So have you always been a proponent of rituals?
Me personally, I guess I forgot I was until somebody reminded me. It was always part of, think about rituals even growing up. Like, my dad would either whistle, he had this crazy whistle he would do to get everybody in, for dinner. A ritual was dinner and sitting down and actually having time with your friends, It's, in my beauty space, very much about, I thought I always looked the same. I try and keep that. So it's the only thing I can control.
Let me just expound on that a little bit. Is I think a lot of times we get confused, and we turn something that could be a ritual, we just turn it into a routine, and then we start living for many years just under this routine, until something happens that reminds us, oh my gosh, this life is really something special. Yeah. This doesn't have to be a routine anymore. This can be a special ritual. This can be something awesome. This can be something that I can be grateful for. And that is really, truly the difference.
Gratitude definitely makes a huge difference. So Tim, how has your perspective on beauty changed over time?
It's interesting. And I'll say one thing. What I noticed, the biggest shift happened when I was recovering from cancer, because when I first was diagnosed, it was kind of grim. Then I went through this crazy battle with chemo, radiation, all that. And I thought when I recovered that I was going to want to do something entirely different that actually had more impact, right? And then all of a sudden I realized that every single time I meet someone who's going through something, and I sit with them and we go through our application and our process, is that the appreciation for me of beauty is what it does to bring that life back out, because so many times, whether it's someone going through cancer treatment or recovery, somebody getting ready to walk the red carpet last night, there's this you meet somebody and there's like a different sense until you help them calm and feel confident. Mm-hmm. And that for me is the real power of beauty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's achieved through a great skincare routine. Sometimes it's achieved through a makeup look.
Yeah. It's just a simple thing. Sometimes it's just actually listening to someone.
Yes.
And connect. I think we're fortunate in the world that we work in, is that, the power of touch is so powerful, and we forget that,
Indeed. And even I've had, in some of the workshops, some of the women say, I rarely, massage my face or touch my face. And so this is a great way to reconnect with yourself in that manner. What do you tell people that don't think they have the time for a ritual or the space to start that, just the sheer energy to maintain that?
Well, like I said, I don't think that a ritual has to be a setup, in a temple. It doesn't have to be, having all your crystals set up. It doesn't have to be the, stereotypical ritual that you think. Mindfulness is really just a path to acceptance of the simple, very, very simple things in life. It's not all the decorations. It's not all the ornates. It's not all the time. It's just the presence. It's just this moment. So really, the ritual is really just finding gratitude here in this moment, right now, right there. And once you can achieve that, maybe you need crystals to help you to achieve that. But really, ultimately, that's not the goal of it. And
that's just the gilding on the lily.
Yeah. So to to change it from a routine to a ritual is really through the pathway of acceptance and mindfulness, and ultimately nothing else needs to happen. No amount of time, no amount of, you know, treasures or anything can change that, and nothing can take it from you, you know, no matter what happens.
And you said earlier that ritual can be as short or as long as you want to make it, but sometimes it's triggered by a scent or a memory. So creating that space in your day is fantastic. So one final question before you go, can you just remind us all the various places that we can follow you and find your products?
I mean, our Instagram is at halo2_official, halo42.com. Mark is at Mark A Turnipseed. Instagram at Mark A Turnipseed.
Or .com.
Or
both
.com,
of those.
both of those. I'm at Tim Quinn Beauty. And you can find us there. And we're really great about, you know, I love connecting with people, you know that. So that's why I'm so delighted when you invited us on here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. I thank both of you, Tim and Mark, very much for the time as well as the information. I think the message that you're spreading is so critically important to so many people out there, and to know that they have access to your messaging as well as your product is wonderful. I personally have learned a lot, and I hope that everyone that's joined us today has also taken a tip or a tidbit home as well. And on behalf of the entire Look Good, Feel Better family, we're truly grateful for you sharing your time as well as your insights with us. Now, I do want to thank everyone certainly for joining us today, and remind you that every time you donate $20 to Look Good, Feel Better, that your name will be entered into a drawing for a personal session with Tim and Mark. And it's a one-on-one session for 1 hour, right? And in addition to that 1 hour session, that you'll also be getting a goodie bag of Halo 42 products. So either click the donate button below, right? Or text, there we go, text Feel Good to 44321. The winners will be notified at the end of the month. So you have the advantage attending today's session. You have the entire month to keep donating and getting entered into that drawing. Finally, a shout out to our lineup of Look Good, Feel Better. The entire month is being sponsored by Carmen D Beauty, Clinique, our supermodel Emmy, Halo 42, author Jamie Gold, and Philip Kingsley. So thank you again for joining us today. We hope to see you at other Feel Better sessions this month. There's something out there for everyone. And I hope you have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining. Thanks again, Tim, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.